Power 104.7.
Rise and shine, St. Paul. Start your day the Power way. The Wake Up on Power 104.7 FM. Monday through Friday from 8 to 10. Let's go. Let's go. 104.7.
This is the wake up.
Hey, welcome back, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. This is the Wake Up on Power 104.7.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and it's time to get into our U.S. world news. But while we doing that, we might as well go ahead and get straight into the interview as well, because we got somebody in the building, y'all. The one and only, right? The one and only,
Yes, sir.
Activist.
Yep.
Community leader.
Mm-hmm. Say that again.
Not the only, because they'll get mad at you. Say that.
Well, not the only, but I'm saying you're the
But
one
the
and
one
only who you are.
who
But let
I
me
am.
finish my intro. Community leader, activist, father, protest organizer, independent political party. Anything I'm missing?
A lover of humanity. I finished it.
Humanitarian?
Humanitarian.
Ooh.
Vocabulary is cold.
I'm working on it. Mr. Jonathan Mason is in the building, y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yes, thank you for coming through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Well, we're going to get into this, like I said, our U.S. world news, but since you're here, we're going to talk about it all together.
Yeah.
What's going on right now, y'all?
And I really want to thank Power 104.7 for having me.
Of course.
Because I believe it's imperative to get this information and news out. But today is a big day for America.
Mm-hmm.
It's April 13th, and Iran has made its declaration that if we don't get out of the Strait of Hormuz, with the U.S. blockade, that the war will start today. So I thought the prediction, we're live and we're on the radio, and we're going to be watching it all together.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on majorly, and I believe Donald Trump has overplayed his hand. So that's where we're at right now.
I totally
right
agree.
now.
With that guy, first off, clown. Automatically, I'm gonna say that. But no, just too much going on, bro. Like you can't think that people that you have been attacking is going to recover in enough time to help out with the agreement. But also at the same time, you gotta look at it in a factor of they don't have much room.
Yep, exactly.
To move around and maneuver with certain things, especially if you already done destroyed a bunch of things that would help out.
Right. And with Donald Trump too, is we just, Israel had the Palestine conflict, right? And the Palestinians didn't have much going on there because they are a poor people, right? They've been fighting against Israel for a while. But as the expansion of Greater Israel goes on, the attack with Iran, they're a population of 90 million, right? This isn't 2 or 3 million people trapped in a confined area. This is 92 million people, and these are the inventors of math and chess.
Yeah.
So they're coming to play the real ball game. And when he said, we'll wipe your whole civilization out, and they
That's
just back
genocide.
down, and that's not, it's genocide. But and we're seeing, he will have to face, I think, consequences internationally at the international court.
Yeah.
But going to like what you were saying was, in Iran, when you wipe out, first when you attack an 80-year-old man who is the Ayatollah there and kill him, and you kill his wife, and you kill his son, try to kill his son, and you kill all their nephews and cousins, and we're calling it really democracy, and we're saving the Iranian people, but we just seen what happened with here in ICE, and we were talking about Georgia. We don't need you to save Iranians when you guys are attacking Georgia for it. Right. Okay, so it doesn't make sense to me. And what's going on is the American people, because of the Epstein files, because of all of this, the world around, the news around the world are saying you guys are evading prosecution for your billionaires and your millionaires on the list that the DOJ has on its website that's redacted. But we had Cash Patel here on the South Side saying they had an investigation for 7 months in Cott family mob selling drugs, but Chicago and Franklin still looks like a disaster. So
don't it?
Yeah. So when we're
Rice Street too. Sorry.
Rice Street, St. Paul, and I'm always talking Minneapolis, but it's a Twin Cities thing, right? And so that and I just want to touch on the Iranian piece. So I think we overplayed our hand. Can we go kill a whole bunch of people and millions of people die? Sure, that would be World War III, and many of our allies have backed out. So
yeah,
we're here. We have us in Israel, and it doesn't look good for us. So yep, Donald Trump said he's blocking everything today, and inevitably that means for the American people, taxpayers, that our gas is going to almost right now. If he continues this, I mark my words, it's going to go double or triple.
Oh my goodness, I've been complaining. Ask him. I've been complaining because my cargo van, I take E85. So before all this happened, 215 feel, I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
I filled up to 326. I said, Lord, I'm about to pass out.
Yeah.
Right.
This is too
But then
much.
I'm also telling her, like, once we graduated high school, back in the early 2000s, gas was like $4.50, almost $5, $5.25 sometimes. But then when we're looking at it now, it's like gas was just at like $2.14 or so at the beginning of the year. And then if you look at where California is at their gas prices, some of the little gas stations, they're charging about $10 a gallon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just imagine, like, already California having high prices in everything, but then it also kind of correlates with our regular essentials, so far as like
energy,
clothing, what else? Like just a whole bunch of stuff that we get out of that port. Yeah. Because that's like one of the main hubs that comes from, like, all our goods from China and stuff like that. Yep. Everything got to go through there and then come right back out because of how it's transitioning. But then also looking at how, Iran said, well, we're going to make sure we make sure people pay their toll fees and stuff like that, which is, I think, that's the part of why everything's going wrong, because I don't think he wants to pay those tolls for our U.S. goods.
Yep, and that's it, because the American the tariff gets paid at the port, right? Yeah. So they give you a tariff slip. The person to be able to get the products off the ship, you give them a tariff slip. That's why it's called a tariff. You give them a tariff slip. They pay the whatever it is, $2 million. So Iran has put now a fee. There wasn't a fee. Right. This is the whole point. Donald, you said you wanted to open it up. It was already open.
Pretty much.
Now you attacked them, killed everybody. Now they said, in their negotiation tactics, now they've put a $2 million per ship fee to go through the Strait of Hormuz. Well, internally, that they made billions of dollars. Everybody said, bet, we got the money. We're going to pay it. Right. And then we're going to make all the people that pump at the gas tanks pay it. Now, Donald Trump thought he could go and circumvent the Strait of Hormuz with Saudi Arabia. Right. But the only thing with Saudi Arabia is the petrodollar has ended. So we had an agreement in 1970s with Saudi Arabia with currency, and it's called the petrodollar. So that ended, Saudi Arabia ended that last year. So this is what a lot of this is about. It's about the oil production. It's about the 20% of the oil's production and energy comes from that strait.
Right.
So Iran has the world by the grip, but they're saying, look, to the world, we didn't attack nobody.
Exactly.
This is you guys. And they did it. And so us as Americans, luckily, we have the freedom of speech. And so, a lot of people say, hey, look, you almost seem like you're rooting for Iran. I absolutely am not. But guess what? I'm a humanitarian, like we said first, and really as a descendant of slaves, and we're finna get into this black stuff in a second. Yeah. As a descendant of slaves, as a descendant of a kidnapped human being in a country that you saying we can tell the truth. Can we tell the truth? Right. Okay, well, telling the truth is they done did the same thing to us, and y'all send us $2 million per ship, per person.
Yeah, get our 40 acres and mule.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go. Yeah.
But all right, let's back up a little bit.
Yes,
We gonna
yes,
get there.
yes,
we
ma'am.
gonna, that was our little
You know, I had to-
icebreaker, a little icebreaker, you know. So like I said, father, activist,
Yep.
protest organizer. Before you had this public name, Jonathan Mason. Who were you before then? What pushed you to actually get into activism?
Oh, that's a good question. So myself, personally, grew up Minneapolis. You know, I went to school. I was wild growing up, so everybody knows me as, hey, hold on, Jonathan, you probably gonna go to jail or be dead. And running around the suburbs in the north side. And, you know, and I lost my father young, right? He was a former gangster. He turned his life around at the end. You know, he had got shot up on the south side, and he was GDs and went to, you know, from Chicago and all that. So I have and, you know, then my mama's white. Okay, so I have a crazy dynamic. And so growing up in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, I always seen what was going on, and I always asked questions. And so, you know, like, I just turned 39 years old, so you can't, you know, in Minnesota, I wasn't as woke. At first, you know, in Minnesota back in the early 90s or coming up in the 2000s, when I seen black people pulled over all the time, it was just like, oh, yeah, the white folks is being racist. I kept just moving. If they called me or excuse my language on the...
can't say that.
Yep, sorry, take that out. Take that back, public radio. The N-word. The moment I was called the N-word, though, and I felt like, you know, it was just racist. When I first woke up, and I just really, it started dawning on me, and almost like I was waking up with nightmares with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, everything got it in it. Everything is racist. Everything. I'm talking about the system, the police, the judge. I'm looking at the doctor. I'm looking over here. I'm looking at
The nursery rhymes.
Then I'm looking at my cousins, other people, because I'm biracial.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking, hold on. Is it in my family? Now it's in my family. Oh my goodness, it's all over. So now, that pushed me because I felt like, okay, now since I see what's going on, how can I get clever enough? And people know I'm a clever cookie. How can I get clever enough to start exposing racism? And so that's what I did. I asked questions. And so I knew, you know, leading up before George Floyd, the Jamar Clarks, the Philando Castillos, the Thurman Blevins, you know, the Breonna Taylors and all them. You can't justify this. So I know if I can stand on one thing, murder. If I believe that's wrong, and I know, and I believe in my heart that there's a universal law, that if you believe in God, that thou shalt not murder, then we should all be on the same side. And if we can see it on video, then cool. So I think that transition to me got me prepared. I'm a biracial black man in America. I done been in police cars for no reason, guns to my head. You know, have I been a little wild growing up? Everybody knows it. Yeah, I was. But I transitioned out of there. I don't have a criminal record. I done got away from the hood, but I'm always seem to find myself back there. But that's what kind of pushed me into it.
Yeah.
And so just being I'm a descendant of slaves. So grandmama and them and hearing slavery and all that, I'm like, no, I got to stand up. And as a black man, it's imperative that I stand up. And that's what made me just jump in it.
Yeah. Speaking of George Floyd, and so because like you say, you were already standing up for what was right before all
way
that.
before
But then that movement itself changed your visibility.
Yeah.
Put
Change
you in a
the visibility
whole
of everything.
Yeah, it put you in a whole nother
An echelon.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
how did that period change you personally?
Oh, thank you. You know, mentally, it changed me physically, mentally. It changed the dynamic of how we view justice. And I always like to tell the story, and shout out to many of the justice fighters in the Twin Cities, because I want to make sure that everybody understands that, you know, it ain't because you people might, you know, they might hear Nikema, or they might hear somebody else, Jonathan, or somebody. It was all of us combined at our own angles doing our thing. But for me personally, leading up to George Floyd in the Twin Cities, if you was on this justice fight, you would know I was sending it up. And I was sending it up about COVID. I was sending it about them killing us. I was sending about Breonna Taylor. I was like a roaring lion around here. But that day, when George got killed, Ashley Keonis sent that video out to everybody, and we seen it. And I was enraged. I just said, that's it.
I think most people were like, this is it.
And so Operation was pulling up was started that day. I was already pulling up, but my operation saying pull up, I'm going to City Hall. I went to City Hall that morning at 5 a.m. So I woke up And everybody, I had 200 calls. I woke up, I seen the video, I didn't know what to do. I almost called 911. I ain't never called 911. I almost called 911 on them. Right. I said, okay, bet, I'm coming down there today. So I went down there that day, kicked the door in, okay? They like, all the security guards follow me, news reporters follow me. I'm saying, I went to homicide. Dude told me, F you. I ain't gonna say that word, but he said, F you. I said, F me.
Oh,
I'm reporting the murder of George Floyd. Now, we didn't really know his name. There was reports that it was Justin and another name. So I'm saying, we want murder now, or we finna go get him today.
Yeah.
So, you know, all the security guards would follow me, slow down, and then it kind of triggered from that. So.
Yeah. Who did you outside yourself? Who did you connect with that you was like, all right, we gonna come together and we gonna help lead this. Okay. This whole fight together.
Yes. So many of us were fighting in the movement in Minneapolis at the time. You know, there was John Thompson's, there was Chantel Allen's, and the Kimas, and I know George's was out there, and other people who were out there, right? And you know, Louis Blaze, and you know, I look back at the videos and like, oh, we all legends in this.
Yep, Louis Blaze, DJ Phoenix, DJ Soda.
Oh, DJ Phoenix was out there. I was out there.
Everybody was.
Yeah,
and no, like if you weren't out there.
Shout out to the homegirl Kia Bible.
Yeah.
Because she started a whole thing for, you know, making sure everybody's good medically, especially out there. So shout out to sis right there.
When we talk about mutual aid, that's what this is the kind of concepts, and we see that you know, and because we'll talk about ICE probably in a second, but going back to that time was who I connected with was I was already connected. So we already were like, everybody's just like, we finna stand on, like if you've been doing your own thing, standing. So I kind of was like, this how Jonathan Mason show all this. I'm coming, and I'm going to just be Jonathan Mason. You know, obviously the NBA guys came in, and I'm territorial. They know me about Minneapolis, so I pulled up on them. What y'all on? I ain't never seen you before. And Royce was there, and you know Royce White and stuff.
Who's 10K?
10K. So I was one of the leaders. Yeah, I was the leaders, but I ain't don't put my name on no checks. I don't want no money. And I didn't have the nonprofit. I came in there just as a leader, but you know, there was a couple people that, you know, you have to officially put your name on and stuff like that. Not much of leaders in the Twin Cities as in that justice fighter movement. You know, everybody spent off from there because, you know, it's bigger than the 10K. It's bigger than the group. Yeah. I don't want to be no group. I'm with me because what happens is what you notice is all the groups, when you get in a group, right, you got to adhere to rules, just like we on and you got me saying the F word versus saying the F word. So, you know, I don't adhere to everything everybody else believes in because I feel like, you know, if we talking biblical, I'm more of a biblical man. Okay. And I know it's been tampered with. I know what part's been tampered with, what's been taken out, who is who, and all that. But historically speaking, I can stand on a lot of don't steal, don't kill, don't murder, don't do all that, and I believe in that. And so
gotta believe in them commandments.
Yeah, Well, tell me which one you don't believe in.
Exactly.
And that's the one. That's how I say it. It's like, okay, look at them and you saying it's all lie. Well, which one you want to take away? I don't like lying. So do not bear false witness. And everybody bearing false witness, quit lying. So that's what happens. And so you get in a group and
all that happens. Yeah. Because I know this was the situation with the semi truck, right? That was led with them.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you. You
can tell me. Yeah,
right. Okay. Okay.
I put all the blame on me.
I'm trying not to be messy, but
be messy.
I'm gonna ask. Okay.
Because I do accept responsibility to the stuff that I do. So ask that question.
Yeah. So what actually happened with that situation?
Okay. So let me tell you what happened. So we U.S. Bank Stadium. We there. We march and we take our stops. We move and be in Royce. We walk in. A couple other PJ Hill. A couple other people was out there. Y'all know how I am. We walking down University. You know, we come up, you know, Bobby Steve's on Washington on the other side. So we coming up from the back way, coming up from the University side. So we look at the ramp. I look at Royce. He's scared. I ain't gonna lie. He's so scared. He look at me. He's 6'9". He was scared. I said, we going to the highway, man. I don't forget this highway. He said, come on. No, I said, come on. They done killed the black man. And they done shut the highway down, remember, because it was curfew. And John Harrington did, black brother. You know, he shut it down, and so Jacob Fry and them was calling, people was calling in saying, please get about the highway, and then I'm like, no, we ain't getting off there, and we had about 40,000 with us, so we deep.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, was.
And I'll talk about the responsibility, but we got on there. I jumped over, and most of us bear a scar on our shin for trying to jump over the median. I made a mistake. I would say, here go my mistakes that I'm going to take blame for. I sat everybody down, said, everybody sit down. We ain't going nowhere. Helicopters was in the air. The call came in that Jacob Fry was going to want to talk to us. I said, all right, I'm going to go talk to him. Me, Reggie Lynch, he used to play at the Gophers, and a dude named Will Preble. So we walking up to Bobby and Steve's, and as I'm walking up the hill, I'm feeling like we juiced up. It's a crazy emotion. I see the semi truck in the horizon trucking, and my heart, I start crying. Everybody know it because I had the video on. I start crying. My stomach was in there. I said, man, I done got everybody killed. And that was the feeling that I had. I was running, screaming. Everybody I'm like this. It was slow-mo. I felt like it was Lion King. I'm sitting there, get up, no. And I almost fell out. Like, oh, they know, oh, not everybody. I did have people security with me, so my security shot the truck up. We went to court for it. I went to federal court. We already went to court for it and won our case, right? So I can talk how I want to talk. But we did shoot the truck up, the semi truck dude. Thank God no one died.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that though, I
would never do that again.
Right. So you made the choice to go on this highway. You didn't have in mind at first the safety of people.
I did because remember I referenced that the state of Minnesota was closed down. Remember they put us on curfew.
Yeah.
And the highways were closed.
Yeah.
So my reasoning, as I'm telling Royce, come on, let's roll, was ain't nobody on the highway. There was a couple cars on there, but between us as of recent, because of the Flandos and because of all the other one, we start taking, but this was when Minneapolis was roaring like a lion, where we was taking highways. We started taking down 94. We started, every time Michael Freeman them lied, we was taking a highway. And then it was me and John Thompson, a couple of us screaming, hollering, hooting, hollering. But when I thought about it, I said, oh, okay, cars are gonna listen. George Floyd is a big thing. We have this crowd of people. Never would I imagine.
Right.
I would have never imagined a person would have that much
anger.
Right? But
I feel like in a time like that though, you have to believe that anything is possible.
Correct.
Anything that can happen.
You're right.
So, automatically. So I just feel like
it wasn't safe.
It wasn't safe.
Oh, I put so many.
But at the same time, a lot of them people. I mean, who if you don't want to walk it, you don't have to walk it.
I didn't force nobody to come out there.
But it's still they were looking at you as a leader, someone that they could trust and all of that. So they took your word for it and followed you.
Yep, they did, and I do accept responsibility. So between I almost would have got, I almost got charged, man. I would have got charged with manslaughter, hundreds of counts. I still be in jail. I did it that night. I got on my knees. I prayed. I said, sorry, I would never do that again. And now, did I get on the highway after that by myself, though? For Ricky Cobb, yeah. I shut down 94 for 3 hours in 23, and that's when I got arrested for my mugshot. But Ryan Lundregan killed a black man. And I was in Massachusetts, and I said, you know what? If I get to Minneapolis and ain't nobody doing nothing, I'm jumping on 94 right where he got killed on Broadway, and I'm shutting it down. So I shut it down for 3 hours. Everybody was saying I was crazy. The police finally did come. I was gaming them. I thought I was being slick. Got in the car with them. Everybody, never trust them. Don't trust
Facts,
them.
though.
I'm playing them. Only thing, I'm shaking hands. Y'all gonna let me go? And they kidnapped me and brought me down to Hennepin County, tortured me in the car. Really, to be honest with you, almost broke my arm. I got that on video, and had me in handcuffs. And then I had to go sit down, and somebody bailed me out. One of my brothers bailed me out. They go do that, but it's minor into comparative to what we're actually dealing with. So that's my mindset. So my reasoning is, they didn't kill George Floyd, I'm getting on this highway.
Yeah.
Right. They killed Ricky Cobb, I'm getting on this highway.
Right.
What else can I do? I can't do nothing physically to them but use my voice, try to use my First Amendment rights. I don't want to go to the Second Amendment, so I want to say the First Amendment and say, like, I like being the loudest person and say, like, help.
Absolutely.
Right.
Do you feel like your tactics is making a difference?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, no, and I'm strategic on what I do. I'm not out here running around just playing around. Like I said, no criminal record. I do got a criminal justice degree, but I don't have a record because I know what to do and not to do. But I will tell you this is though, when you're fighting for change, there has to be a new tactic. You know, you look at Martin Luther King, you look at Malcolm. It's 2026. It's 2026, going on 27, and we just heard they just dropped a bomb on 170 kids, and no one's talking about it.
Right.
And we just had ICE come here. So we in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Twin Cities, and St. Paul have dealt with the authoritarian government, and I shout out to all my people in Minneapolis and St. Paul and the Twin Cities, because it wasn't 40,000 Jonathan Masons on that highway. And then when everybody was like, I ain't gonna just hang with Jonathan Mason all day, I'm finna start my own thing. Now we got all these groups, mutual aids. Then not knowing that we had ICE come. And that was perfect for a lot of us, you know, that we're back out there doing it, and it's traumatizing. You know, the mental health piece is crazy. Because you think to yourself, it's like, am I making a change? That's the one thing you said. Do you feel like it's making a change? I have to say yes, I do believe it, and I do believe that. You know, when I walk into the airport, somebody's like, "Hey, look, is you that George Floyd dude that was out there?" I'm like, yeah. Keep up the good work. Okay, cool. Then okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So I like that little here and there's, but yeah, you always want to wonder if you're making a difference.
Absolutely. Do you consider yourself as a journalist?
Oh, I threw that on there. I believe I'm a truth-telling, authentic journalist, justice-fighting, activist, business, construction worker, mixed with a father, with the youth group, doing farm work up north Minnesota. What else? In the north side. What else y'all want?
Okay,
so I'm doing everything.
Because the reason why I asked that, because like there's conversations, and we gonna you know, kind of transition this into it.
Absolutely.
Where a lot of people like Don Lemon and them are saying like there's a difference of an influencer and a journalist, right? And then there's this gray area where it's starting to cross over a lot. And certain people shouldn't be crossing over in space that they shouldn't be in. So the reason why I asked that is because some might look at you as like journalists, not necessarily because of like credibility, might, you know, situations or whatever, but then influencer for sure, because you influence a lot of people. But again, depending on how you consider yourself. Right. That makes a difference.
I believe I was stream before stream. I was Twitch before Twitch. I believe, and let me tell you, my sister from St. Paul now, Philando Castillo's girlfriend, Lavish Diamond. Shout out to Lavish, that's my girl. She was traumatized. We watched that video, right? With her and her daughter, with Philando get killed in the car by Yanez. He got away. She went live. Then let me tell you why I give her my credit. Facebook need to cut her a check. Zuckerberg cut her a check, because when she went live, I said, hold on. You can call me journalist. You can call me whatever. They make you pick the selection. They don't say justice fighter, activist, and journalist. I wish that was on there, but they put us in categories like black, white, brown, and Chinese. So I do. All day on my page, I'm talking about Iran. I know everything about. I haven't debated with nobody who knows more about the Middle East than me. And I talk to theologians. I talk to professors. I can tell you about Muhammad Morsi. A lot of people don't know this as well, and this is where one of my tricks is. I got a photographic memory, so I read. And I'm locking it in. So I can tell you about Muhammad Morsi in Egypt when he was going up with the Muslim Brotherhood. I can tell you about 1933. I can go back to 1897 with Theodor Herzl and talk about atheism and Zionism. So it takes me 2 seconds to pull back in the Rolodex and say, hold on, don't play with me. And I've been doing this since 3 years old. So that's why when I say I'm a psychological hood genius, they be like, what do you mean? Well, you better go check that Facebook. I'm talking about Iran, North Side, Chicago, and Franklin. And catch me when you can, because I'm pulling up on you, too.
AKA DaeTV.
DaeTV. Some DaeTV. You are now watching the DaeTVNetwork.
The first time I met you, we were at City Hall. When a couple of journalists, Minnesota, local legend journalists, Georgia Fort, I can't think of the other fella's name right now. My apologies.
You Bringston? You talking about Bringston, the white guy?
No.
Oh, Trey Cruz.
Trey Cruz,
Trey Cruz, yeah,
and
Trey Cruz.
and then there was
Who,
another
Jerome?
one.
Jerome Treadwell.
Jerome, thank you.
Yeah, and that's my boy Treadwell.
Yep. So that was
I know everybody.
So that was the first time I met
Yep.
you. How were you feeling in that moment? Like they're attacking journalists now.
Oh, now, and I came in here talking that I love Georgia. Me, Georgia's been out there with me so many times. She done been over north with me, and we all have, not seen eye to eye? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But one thing you not finna do, and they know I stand for protecting women in the Twin Cities.
Protect black women.
Black women.
Thank
and
you.
I stand
Thank
on
you.
it. It don't matter if my mama white, grandmama white, but baby mamas is white. I'm going to stand for a black woman and stand on it and keep standing on it. When I seen Georgia though, I was hot.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking
a lot of people was though.
And I was, you're not saying I wasn't that hot about Renee Good.
Yeah.
Or Alex Preddy or whatever the case may be. But when you're attacking a black woman journalist, and they said, well, you're just doing that because she's black. Well, maybe, because I'm going to be honest with you. Let me tell you why. And I can speak for myself, because we've been screaming, hooting, and hollering, and now we can't even do journalism. Now we can't even use our First Amendment. You didn't want us to read. Now we can't tell the truth. And when you're coming to her home, masked men around with her mom and her kids and her husband, and her husband is in a position as a man to say, hold on, I'm the protector. I can't do nothing. You can't really, what you gonna do, go get killed? So you gotta, and it almost is reminiscent of slavery when the black man had to deal with, and we talk
Slave
about breaking,
owners coming
in
in
and saying, no,
taking-
your girlfriend or your daughter.
Yeah.
No, they used to come in regularly and they say, oh, your 14, 15-year-old daughter, come here, tell her, come over here for the night. And you had to hear that outside. Yeah. So I'm traumatized on that type of stuff. So when I see something that even is reminiscent, what we own tonight. That's how I felt about Georgia. So I said, y'all ain't finna do it. So you see how I came in. I'm ready to pop it off with everybody.
I pulled up on the side of him because I was on my way there too.
Yeah.
And I put up in my cargo van. And all you heard was, if you're tuned in.
Yep. And she said, yeah. I'm like, yep, go ahead. And like I said, I know a good angel when I see one. I know a good soul when I see one. You can't fake long with me. You only can. I always tell people, you only can fake so long.
Right.
You go, and then the moment you slip, it all crumble. Do. So I'm always waiting for your slip. And then the longer you don't slip, I get comfortable. So Georgia ain't slip. I ain't. You know what I'm saying? She built this up. She's legendary. She's reported. She's professional. Emmy Award winning. So, and then I know her. Shoot, I know the Emmy in there. I know people with it. So that's how I'm pulling it.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that whole situation, because that all was happening at the same time with ICE.
Yes.
This is all going on at the same exact time.
Yeah.
We seen Renee Good murdered.
Yep.
We seen Alice Preddy murdered.
Yep.
And we seen families broken, torn out of their homes, kids
Devastated.
separated, all that's going on.
Illegal breaches of homes.
All of
due
that.
to
Constitutional
administrative
violations.
Yeah. In this moment, are you feeling like, and I'm not saying George Floyd and Renee Good are the situations are similar,
Right.
But at the same time, with you being so involved with George Floyd
Right.
and you seen all this going on, did you feel like again, not like Minnesota's going through it again?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So take us back to now. You see this video,
Yeah.
Renee Good, because you seen the video, George.
Yeah.
You seen the video, Philando.
Yeah.
Now you see this white woman.
Yeah.
How did you?
Same
how did
feeling.
you feel then?
Same feeling.
Same
now,
feeling.
so this is
Okay.
where I'm a little different. I grew up, my father said, don't pick sides.
Okay.
Right.
And as a biracial black man, oh, love that one. I ain't picking sides. And I'm telling the truth on white folks and I'm black folk, come on, we got to pull it together.
Right.
Now, when Justine DeMond, let's go back to the other white woman that got killed in Minneapolis first.
Oh, by the cop.
By the Muslim cop,
Muslim cop,
the
yes.
Somali cop.
Yes.
Yeah.
His name was Muhammad Noor. I was on Muhammad, like I was on Derek Chauvin. And I was out there while the blood was wet. Out there in Edina area for
South Minneapolis
for your girl, Justine DeMond, and but we seen when you ask that question, because this is the question you want to ask, and then I'm going to talk about how I felt, was we seen a different response immediately with Justina's mom. When I talked to Michael Freeman, who was the attorney or the district attorney, prosecutor, Jonathan, I have locked up an officer. I said, please don't say it's Muhammad Noor, the only Muslim that shot somebody, because I'm talking about all the black folks that think it. Well, no, right, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's time for you to go. That's why I did protest outside his house. We can talk about that briefly, but I don't want to right now. When she got killed, felt the same way. Now, when Renee Good got killed, I said, okay, now this is the test. Because Ricky Cobb, black folks, everybody failed on that one. So I said, okay, what is it going to take? It took Renee getting killed by a white man, Jonathan Ross. Murdered her, shot her 4 times, and she wasn't trying to do nothing. Now, they were mad she was gay. Let's be honest. They was mad that she was gay, and her partner told the dude, go ahead, boy, go get you some lunch. And the other officer was yelling at her, and it was too much stuff going on, and they murdered her. Now, when I seen that, I said, hold on. Oh, that's murder. I'm going to stand up for her. Let's send it up the same way to show the people that got hate in them that we ain't picking sides. We ain't doing nothing. And that's why I also believe that they came here. Now, going back to the whole piece on why the federal government came here. ICE don't got no business coming to Minnesota.
No, absolutely. Now let's back up just a habit though, because you said you're not picking sides. But so, what do you say to the people, to the black people who did pick sides?
I was very upset with them. So I will tell you that when black folks, this is what they said. This ain't our fight. That was everybody knows that. Everybody knows that was the saying.
See, now, I ain't even have to say it. He was.
We all know. We all know.
This is our fight. But I felt like, okay, cool. True, but it is our fight because now white folks is getting into her and they're treating her like a black man because a white man killed her, and it was from the federal government agency, and they're going to try to, and what they try to do, let me tell you the psychology, remember Psychology Genius, let me tell you what their game was. Their game was saying, look, we're not racist. We want the white woman. We don't want her to get no justice and still help the white guy. I said, no, you ain't going to play that one with me. No, we want the justice for the white woman. And we want the white man still locked up. That was the psychological fight. So they're pulling it off and saying, same thing we want with George Floyd. Stop. George Floyd got murdered. Don't try to do that. And she got murdered. And don't try to do that. We're on the side of good. And you're on the side of bad. And that was the psychology on it. So, did I feel more? No, when Renee got shot, good, we were, not good, Renee Good got shot, I was looking for the evidence like I always do. I want to see clear-cut video. When we see Christy Noam lying to our face about Alex Preddy, and she's no longer here, Pam Bondi that had the files and redacted them, and they was all cash, but they was talking about doing it. I knew they didn't have no business here. So when we seen her get killed, I was telling black folks, like, let's get it. Because after this, we asking for reparations.
Right. So do you think with that whole situation of them coming here was just retaliation because of Walls, going in as a VP?
Slightly. But if I gave you my insights on it, who mostly got arrested here? Black folks, leaders. They came here to clean out the leaders. They came here to pump fake. Because why would you take ICE agents from Texas and California and bring them to Minnesota, and they got nothing but Venezuelans and Mexicans in Texas and California?
Right.
You came here
that made
to bring out to bring out the leaders, the Nikimas, the Jonathan Masons. You brought us all out because we stood in 2020.
Right.
So you saying if we start this war, they could mess with. See, activists ain't even really got smart. They don't know what to do now. Because Renee, they have Whipple playing around. The illegals are still on the south side on Stevens Avenue and East Lake Street.
Facts.
So I know what's going on in my hood. And for the white folks going up to Whipple, it's done. ICE ain't really, they at the airports, they already told us. So y'all come fight this fight. Go get justice for Renee Good and Alex Preddy. But guess what? What we're strong in Minnesota for is we could stop the war. Because if we started saying anti-war protests, like we did for Renee Good with 100,000 white folks along with black folks. Mm-hmm. Minnesota will make a stance that we've never seen in the history of all the world, and we can do it. That's why I think that I'm here on the day that World War III is going to start, because he hasn't backed down. They're not backing down, and I know a good fight when I see one.
Right.
So,
how do you process criticism? Because a lot of people have a lot to say about the way that you're very outspoken.
Yep.
You don't really back down too much. You say what's on your mind. How do you process that?
I actually take it, man. I'm converting energy.
Okay.
So I take the hate and I bottle it up, and it make me reloaded. I go so I take it good, because one thing I know about truth, a universal thing on truth, and it's a trick. There's only two things out here: a fallacy, lie, illusion, and the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. And they said you can't handle the truth, but I do believe that truth has a power, right? And if you believe in Jesus or Yeshua or Emmanuel, that's the name, Isaiah 7:14. If you believe in that, and he says the truth is the way in the life, and every time you tell the truth, you start getting ridiculed. People get mad at me for telling the truth. And then after a certain amount of time, I'm always proven right. And so I take it well, okay. I love it. When somebody gets to digging at me and they playing around on the wrong side. Yeah. Come on, bring it all the way, because I'm gonna blitz you with the truth, and then I'm gonna let it just sit there. So that's how I am.
So I would say, with the criticism that you do receive, though, a lot of people feel like you be kind of contradicting yourself a lot. Like, you'll say you're one way, but then you'll do a live a week later and say you something else, and then people will call you on it. Like,
and I always say, what specifically, like, maybe, like, I know that me as I'm a conservative man. Okay, so this is where you might see on the political side. There's 330 million people. I'm a descendant of slaves. And so the political game is already crazy for a black man. Yeah. So we had to fight for us to be able to vote with y'all. I know the history. I'm a very smart guy. So when I hear KKK started the Democratic Party with Nathan in them in 1865, and they keep on telling me to switch with Lyndon B. Johnson, but I know what Lyndon B. Johnson said. I'm like, ugh. And then I know what Abraham Lincoln said. He said, I read the articles of the Republican Party, right? It ain't got nothing to do with Donald Trump. The Republican Party ain't got nothing to do with Donald Trump, because he used to be a Democrat before. So, facts. So if he was a Democrat, then he's a Democrat really, he's just faking. Like he said, I could fake the Republicans a trick, they slow, but because they easy. And they is slow. And is the Republican Party got hints of racism all through them? Yep. And that's why they didn't want to kick me out the hole, but I done tore they butt up here in Minnesota too. Going back to Royce. Remember when we talked about Royce? This is where they said the contradiction came. He voted for Biden and Kamala, let me tell you, in 2020, and I didn't, let me tell you. When we were doing 10K, it was coming at the end. Everybody and their mama was getting tired. It was the end of it. The next step was the election year, right? I'm saying, man, we got to get in politics or something. Me and him had a big argument. He wasn't there where I was mentally on it, but I said, I can get you to go be congressman or senator. He like, trust me. And we gonna fool him like Donald Trump did. I did it. I ran the same play. We won. He's the first black man in Minnesota history to ever be endorsed by a political party for senator. Let me tell you something. I'm the first one to do it. And me and him ain't seeing eye to eye. Let me tell you that on the radio. Because and it's okay. I'm not running from that. We don't see eye to eye because we don't align. And he's gonna come back home. But until then, he's radical, sitting online, saying whatever. So a lot of my radical stuff is, okay, for example, going to the north side when they shot the Venezuelans on 23rd and Lindale. Okay. I went over there. I told black folks, come on. They on the north side. They done messed up, and people told me they done shot somebody, and it wasn't right. So I'm coming out there doing all that. Yes, it's theatrical. Yes, they said people could have got hurt. Did people get gassed? The car got
broken into,
and I told everybody not to do it. It was a setup.
Yeah, that was always
because, and so now being that I was right about the 23rd and Lindale, because now those ICE agents are in trouble. Those are the only ones. Jonathan Ross, who shot Renee Good, ain't even in trouble. And Alex Preddy, the dude named Jesus Ocha and Raymondo Gudez was the ones that shot him. They ain't even in trouble. But the ones that came to the north side at my garden, because I call it 23rd and Lindale my garden with the Operation Cleanup, when they gassed it, because they threw the bombs, gas at us, and flash bombs, I almost died that night. I got up out of there, but I knew it wasn't right. It was eerie. And I stood on it, right? Everybody, come on, man, you putting everybody in danger. Now coming out, Chrissy Nones fired. Yep. Okay. Pam Bondi fired. So the whole case is all over the place. They don't know what's going on. Donald Trump ain't even finna charge George. Man, y'all don't charge. They let these people go. They can't even, they are all over the place. So so what I did though was people were saying it's controversial for going over north that way, but when you look back at it, I was right. They shot the man unjustly, and now we all looking at lawsuit money. Y'all better go holler at the lawyers and go, let's get this money, because I'm suing for what they did.
Speaking of politics,
Yeah.
You for real about running for governor?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I am. I do got about T-minus a month, and I could do whatever I want to. I do have huge programming coming out this summer though for our kids in the community. I'm doing the farm program. A lot of you guys see the farm work we're doing. Yeah. We're bringing all the kids from the north side, south side, East St. Paul. Reach out to me at 20 Pastors Academy at Gmail. Well, really do Jonathan M. Mason at gmail.com. Reach out to me if you want to bring your kids to the youth up north. We're going to be doing huge events, but we're doing woodworking, electrical, plumbing. We're going to start giving our kids those type of training.
Okay. Why governor?
The reason why I want to do governor is because I think I could help govern the state in a way that we haven't seen. When Tim Walz, was running, he would protect the state. When the federal government came up here, he had the opportunity to put the National Guard out. He had the opportunity to say, hey, enough is enough. I deploy all the police officers to patrol the ICE agents as well. And if they're doing their job, good. But if they're violating the Constitution and violating our community rights or targeting the brown people like they were, that you need to arrest them on point. And so as a governor, I would absolutely not only manage the budget with a financial analysis of every single tax dollar that leaves the state of Minnesota, because I'm on them poverty pimps too. I hate people that take money, blood money from the community and pay themselves executive fees, and while our kids are struggling. And so I will be looking into nonprofits when they and white folks say, well, that's amazing. We would love to get down to the fraud. And I'm not talking that Nick Shirley fraud, because y'all seen what I did to Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley came in here thinking he was going to be racist and grift on Somalis trying to hustle and actually provide daycares and stuff like that. And sure, is there some fraud? Cool. But
Fraud helps the world go around. Let's be honest.
well, that's her word, not mine. I'm so cold with it. I would say that we shouldn't be engaging in fraud. And if the Somali folks or whoever, black folks, white folks, are doing fraud, arrest them. But this is the problem with me. I know Matthew Thomas Ofrio of Plymouth, Minnesota, for $420 million that just got arrested in December 11th, 2025 for $420 million for 3 years for doing fraud. And so my butt is saying, why ain't y'all do them the same way? So that's where I'm at. So I'm always looking at hypocritical pieces, but I'm really to the point for governor though. I can stop the violence on the north and south side. I think that will be a major running piece. I can get that knocked out in a month. Everything on Chicago and Franklin, they know I'm shaking it up. I'm coming, and I'm not the police. I sued the police. It's called Samaha versus the city, state of Minneapolis, in the police department during George Floyd. See, the little difference with me is I'll activate it, I'll journalize it, and I'm gonna take you to court, and I'll wait 3 years and sue you and still win. We the ones, me and Nikema, we had a class action lawsuit on it, and it's Samaha SAMAHA versus the city of Minneapolis and Bob Crow, because we had to get Bob Crow out. He was a Minneapolis police union president, and he laughed when black people got killed. And that was Liz Collins' Alpha News husband. That's why she got fired. But they're journalists, and they're telling their side of the story, and I got to tell mine, and I'm telling the truth. And so I got her husband up out of the city with Nakeem and them, and that's why I go all the way with it.
Okay, so
because I remember the police area is over northeast off of University.
Yep.
And I remember that whole area just went in an uproar because I was working over at the Dairy Queen over on Lowry at that time. So, yeah, man.
Right there, next to the gas station.
Having that dude get up out of here because he didn't care at all, and just how he still kind of made a mockery out of the situation, saying, "Oh well, all these people are out here doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that," but he had his own skeletons in his closet, and once those came out, it was like, bro, you gotta go.
And he shot 3 folks, black folks, and I'm not sure if a couple of them died, but the way he sounded like he did, but I know for sure he got a couple of incidents, and he called Rondo the N-word. That's the Chief Rondo. And so, Rondo got paid for it. Then he came in as chief. Then George Floyd came. Then everybody blamed Rondo, the black chief, for the white officer killing the black man.
Right.
This is how the reality is, but that's where we're at.
So, because of the criticism, because of the controversy and all of that, do you feel like that can take from you running from governor? You feel like people are going to be trying to dig up all this other stuff? And
well, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got
you know
nothing for them to
saying?
do. They would have already. I'm so controversial. This is the cool thing about being controversial. A lot of people don't want to get there because you got skeletons in your pocket or whatever closet. Being a high-profile person in the community or whatever, they looking for dirt all day.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 15 years. Mason's so clean and it's a whistle. Go ahead, dig it up. Ain't none.
So okay.
So I love, that's the energy I love to bring because it's a confidence. Now, do I hate the haters? That hate, now I could say I hate them. Is it disappointing when you see a friend or a loved one that you thought loved you and they're upset with you because you said something about ICE? Yeah, but do I change my whole stance on ICE and baby Liam and Renee Good and everybody just because to make you feel comfortable and then in your heart you really don't rock with me? Can't do it. I'm no.
So I'm gonna bring up one situation too that might have people like, you've been interviewed before.
Yeah.
Before you came here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dutch and them.
Views from the penthouse.
From the penthouse.
Yeah,
Shout out to them.
views from the kitchen, or is it vibes from the kitchen?
Vibes from the kitchen.
Vibes from the kitchen.
Yep. You know it. Shout out to you know
All
it.
of them. Yeah. So,
You know it, boys. Yep.
Yeah. So like, you was there. You was kicking it. You was having a good time. You was with the bros. You with your people. You was in a comfortable place, being yourself.
Yeah.
But running for something like governor would have people like, should he be showing his personal side of him like that though?
Yeah, I think showing the personal side. Do I smoke weed once in a while? Yes. Who put it on the planet? God, y'all got to go be mad at him. I already had this conversation, and he said every seed that bears, any plant that bears seed is okay for you. I don't believe in pharmaceutical drugs. So when they see me, and I only hit the weed, I rewatch the thing. I hit it like 3-4 times. I left my blunt there because somebody got shot.
Oh yeah, you did. You got up out of there.
I got out of there in a fury.
Yeah.
I said I had to leave because they shot somebody. I'm being an activist. Now, I see the criticism. They said, well, Mason, you shouldn't be drinking and driving. They're the one. Well, I had a half a shot. Now, I was under the legal limit, and I don't even like to drink. People that know me know Mason don't drink. Do I smoke? Yes. Do I believe that tobacco is healing in other cultures? Yes. I believe it heals. So when I'm looking at the Navajo Indians, and yes, they say that cigarettes might be bad, but all they say is nicotine is bad, but nicotine's in chocolate. It seems like y'all sending everybody off. But y'all don't want to talk about the rat poison and the arsenic that y'all put in them Newport 400s. And so I leave our 300s or 200s, 500s. I think, no, short 100s. It's 100s. I think it's 100s.
But it feels like
400s. Yeah, and some of the time it's loud. Feels like 400s. But the reason why I say this is this. One, it's legal. 2, it used to be used readily, and I know why weed is illegal. It's 1934 with Harry Ensinger while he was running for the DEA, and he said that it made black people
a lot more smarter.
Crazy. No, this was his running thing. This was his thing. But we know what weed does. We know what it does.
Tune in a little bit.
Well, the CIA just told us. Let me tell you about that. CIA just released a report and said that people who smoke weed are not easily manipulated
At all.
And so when the CIA they just go look it up on Google. Just say, did the CIA say people with weed can't? And it's gonna pull up. And then say Jonathan said 1934 Harry Harry Ansinger I had to do it for the people Slinger Slanger was the one who made weed illegal. It used to be legal, and it's in the Bible as well. It says canna. It's cannabis, right? Go look it up. And we have the cannabinoid system as the human body. So I always want to give people the facts. You know, they ain't gonna say nothing about them perky tens and them yops and them blues. I will.
Right.
That's what's messing up our streets
Not even
right
then.
now.
They're not going to say nothing about high fructose corn syrup.
Nope.
Right, the things that's in our food.
See, now
the
you
things that's in our
can't
food.
Even, don't get me in trouble. See, he talking high fructose corn syrup.
You feel what I'm saying? And then they're not even going to tell you like certain things. Like me, you know, since I've been on the show, I be, you know, like I love everybody's perception. I love you for who you are. I don't always have to agree with you on certain things, but I do take it into consideration, understanding.
Right.
But when it comes down to a lot of things, like okay, well, me, I'm a diabetic.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? I have to monitor myself. I have to monitor what I put in my body. I have to make sure I'm working out. A lot of people don't look at how high fructose corn syrup is in almost everything you eat or everything
And
you
is
come
that
in
causing
contact.
diabetes?
In a way, yes.
And I always say this, and a lot of people know I go over north into the corner stores and I squeeze the zebra cakes and stuff to destroy them because little diabolical Debbie diabetes girl, she got more bodies than World War II. And so, you know, us knowing, and I'm glad you said it like that because our communities, especially black women as well, when we go into hospitals and we're asking for what's wrong with us, and we're located in these lower socioeconomic deserts that have on north side is Wally's, the Winter, the Murder Station, a couple other places. You like, where am I finna go get Cub Foods? It's like,
right.
And then today I'm looking at Cub Foods, all the meat is spoiled. So we're at a spot.
Work.
Yeah, it's crazy work. So we have to really be conscious as black folks to know what we're putting in our body.
Right.
Absolutely.
And then that's what makes you doing the whole thing with the youth for the farm and stuff. We haven't had agriculture teachings in school for probably, let's say, about like 20, 30 years.
Yep.
Honestly.
Facts.
Like they used to
And
take us.
probably longer.
Right. They used to take us back in elementary school. They used to take us and show us how to plant sunflowers and watermelon seeds and all that stuff. And they still kind of do it to a certain extent for younger kids. But when we get to certain of ages, social media took over. We're not paying attention. We're not governing
ourselves. And that's
ourselves.
on the schools too. That's on the schools, and it's intentional. You know, when they do it because, you know, when I look at other culture, you talk about seeds. Most of our fruits and stuff are, most of our fruits and our stuff have they're GMOs. They don't even have, they're seedless. And so when the Bible says, don't eat food with no seeds,
Right.
and don't mix seeds, and they wasn't doing it until now. I'm saying I ain't eating no GMO. I need grapes with seeds in it, so I'm eating seeds. So anything with seeds, it can bear fruit, and so that's where I'm at. And you know, people will call that crazy, but I'm not just putting anything in my body.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. Well, we're gonna go slowly start wrapping up here because the time is 10:04. But let's go ahead and end this out with this question here. In 10 years, when people hear your name, what are you hoping it represents?
An individual that was raw and authentically fighting for truth, injustice, and accountability, and for our society to be transparent on its workings when it's fighting oppression for those who are less fortunate. And so that's really what I'm here. You know, people know I'm huge on homelessness. I'm huge on, you know, the protecting of women, the children. I'm huge on standing up, even if a person, you know, people, you know, when you say, do you take criticism? Ain't nobody more criticized when George Floyd died, boy. He was a crackhead, fentanyl user. He robbed a lady. He put her pregnant, and I knew it all. Let me tell you. When everybody told me, I had the people, the victims, the people said, well, Mason, he did put the gun. I said, did he put the gun up? They said, yeah. I said, oh, now Mason, now I'm standing up for somebody that robbed a woman. I had to stand on it. because everybody got a pass, right? Nor am I the judge. People think I'm judgmental because I tell the truth. I ain't judgmental. How can I judge you? Just don't listen to what I'm telling you. But quit doing bad. The judge is the ultimate person, I believe, the Most High after you die. Now, we fall down 1,000 times. I hope you get up 1,001. Okay. Now, there's some stuff that people, if I found out George was doing that and he didn't get poked, I wouldn't be hanging with him.
Right.
But I do know that if you were killed innocently, I'm going to stand on it. And so that's what it was. And so that, I'm leaving up all the judging to afterlife and everybody else. But while we're here, can we treat each other good?
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
Amen.
All right, y'all. Well, that is a wrap. Thank y'all for listening in. Jonathan Mason, thank you one more time for coming through and being our guest. You want to let the people know, I'm sure we already know where to find you and all of that.
Yeah, well, it's a Jonathan Mason show. I want to give a big shout out to 20 Pastures Farm. That's where we're going to be with the kids youth program. I'm up there. But you can find me at Jonathan Mason. The Jonathan Mason Show, Jonathan Mason on Facebook, Jonathan Mason Show, Jonathan Mason on Instagram, same thing all the way around. I'm on YouTube, Jonathan Mason Show. And then email. I want people to get at me too. Jonathan, JONATHAN MMASON @gmail.com. And that's also 20 Pastures Academy. 20 Pastures Foundation @gmail.com. That's 20 Pastures Foundation @gmail.com.
All right, y'all. We wrapping up. Follow your girl, your new best friend in the morning, Shardae Robinson. All things _Dae. That's all things _DAE.
Follow me at RealDjINtenz across all platforms, even Threads.
Yes.